Hi, I'm Daniela Guzman, and I'm going to talk about the right of quinceañeras parties. By now, I think most of you would know that quinceañeras are like a very big deal within Latin American culture, where it's this rite of passage where your family throws you like this giant party to announce to society that you're a woman. And traditionally, uh, this derived from uh, European cotillions, where uh, teenage women needed this so that they could like get boyfriends with the best social status possible and marry well and have children and so on. So quinceañera's importance in Latin American cultures reinforce the importance of family and the Catholic Church within Latin American culture. How to act in the world. This ritual is typically accompanied by a mass, uh, and like with the mass and the parties and some symbols used that I'm going to talk about later, some values and social norms expected from you who are considered now a woman are like made explicit. These values are mainly like expecting you to remain a virgin until you marry, to remain obedient to God's commandments, and to remain obedient to your parents. Some of the symbols that reinforce these views are the bouquet, which is typically handed by your mom or dad, and supposedly is like their trust in you following their and God's commands. The doll, which is the last toy you'll receive as a child, and then the heels and the makeup, which symbolize that now you are an adult, and your ring that also like reinforces your commitment to God's commandments. How the world works. As we are social beings, quinceañeras are parties used to communicate specific messages, such as your economic status, as they tend to be like some of the largest celebrations you'll have in your life besides your wedding if you're a Latin girl, your political or military influence, as you can invite very important political guests if they're part of your social circle, or sometimes military people participate in some of the party's rituals. Also, like these parties communicate your social relevance, your status, or they're meant to like better your capacity of attaining social status. These parties also reinforce like some norms that are based on a binary gender system, which are basically two. First is that men are active in courtship and women are passive and obedient, and they're expected to be obedient and submissive, and that your virginity is meant to be guarded and under the control of two main authorities, which are the parents and the church, until you marry. This shows that we live in a very patriarchal society. My position in the world. When I was 15 years old, I didn't really like parties, and I also listened to Iron Maiden, so this wasn't my kind of thing, really. But nevertheless, my family, especially my dad's side of the family, was very excited to throw me this party. Like a lot of times I repeated, I don't want this, I don't want this, and they were like really excited. I read in some of the papers I saw at the end that this tends to happen because this kind of celebration like links you to your family, like your social identity is tied to that of your family. So my position in the world according to this ritual is that I am a woman and therefore I am expected to be obedient, passive in the courting activities, and that my social place, as I said, is linked to that of my family, and also that from now on, as I am considered a woman in society, my sex life, like me remaining a virgin or not, can affect my family in a positive or in a very negative and destructive way. And finally, from a coordinated management of meaning, I understand how this is emotionally and socially important for other people, like friends of mine. However, I do not identify with this ritual until this day. I read that according to Arnold Baljanep, rites of passage have three stages. In quinceañeras, according to other papers I read and I cite at the end, separation is when you're a child before you turn 15. Marginalization is like when you're preparing for your parties, like planification, and while you are putting on your makeup and your dress before announcing yourself to society officially. And reintegration is when once you announce yourself during your party and after your party, where you are officially an adult in society. Also, this homework helped me realize how our individual identity is formed by our community, and how rituals like this one are important because we make some activities and use some symbols from which we can all create meaning, as we are part of the same culture, which allow us to become a certain individual in society. And that's it. Thank you. These are the works I used.